Good afternoon, ladies and gents. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different from our standard 335 content. We're going to be working on our daily driver today. So this is my 2006 Mazda RX-8. This one's due for a brake job because, well, pretty much the rotors have already started squeaking. So today we're going to be replacing the rotors and brake pads. We actually just bought a set of rotors and pads from Amazon, and I mean, it looked like it had some good reviews. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick DIY install of it, and then I'm going to let you guys know how it actually is because, you know, this one's not really pushing out a lot of power, so I figured, you know, save a little money here and there so we can put a little bit more money on the 335. And so we'll just get right into it. So to save ourselves a little bit of time, we went ahead and took off the tires off screen. So at this point, pretty much every single brake job that you're going to do when it comes to rotors and calipers, it's going to be generally the same thing. So you take off the two bolts that are holding the caliper right here. So once that's off, you can go ahead and just slide this off. And then after that, there's going to be two bolts holding the bracket in the back. Once you take those two off, the bracket will come right off. I would just suggest you getting a bungee cord or just hanging the actual caliper like a little bit further up here. After that, rotors will differentiate from like every single car. There are some cars that don't even have a screw with, like this. The Mazda, for example, has two screws that are straight up Phillips screws. So just go ahead and take those off, grab a mallet, hit this rotor off, and then after that, we'll just clean everything out and swap in the new rotor.
Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat, and on we'll go.
So, as you guys can definitely see, these pads are really fucking toast already. And I mean, you guys can see there's a little bit of an indentation in this rotor, so definitely due for changing. Good thing we got to it in time. A lot of times, if you can't just bang it out with a mallet, there's a little hole that usually you can put a screw in. As long as you got the right thread pitch, you can normally just put a screw in there, and it'll actually put a little bit of pushing force from the rotor to actually like hub bearing, and it should help in terms of like getting the rotor itself out. So as you can hear, it's already starting to crack. So we just gotta keep pushing until this thing comes off, and just like that, our rotor's out. So at this point, since you got the rotor and everything out, it's a perfect time to take the opportunity to go ahead and just clean out this hub assembly. You should just take some brake cleaner, spray it down a little bit, grab a wire brush, and just scrape along. And then once you feel like you're content with how it looks, just go ahead. We'll just go ahead and go back to installing the new rotor. So this is our little Amazon drilled slotted rotor. It's actually not too bad. Everything looks even. So right now we're just gonna make sure that all the screws and such line up in order for us to put everything back together. Yep, as you can see, everything on that side lines up perfectly. Our two screws holding our rotors is in place, and we're good to put everything back together.
Rest, echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow.
So the next thing we got to do is push this caliper back in. There's always a tool in order for you to push the caliper back in. You can usually get it for like $8 over Advanced Auto Parts. So I'll show you guys in a second what it looks like, but we're just going to clean out this caliper real quick, and then I'll show you guys how to push it back. Okay, so I was pretty much yapping away as to how like to use this tool, and didn't even realize that I wasn't recording. So pretty much I usually put like a little brake pad as a little buffer, which pushes the little caliper piston over there. So I suggest you open the brake reservoir, or the brake fluid reservoir. That'll make this like a hell of a lot easier. But once you stick it in there, you pretty much just grab this tool and you just twist, and it will push that little piston back, and Once that's pushed in, you can go ahead and put your new thicker brake pads in, and it'll give it a lot more room in order for it to fit. So you can see it's pushed in. This thing is all the way back, so now we just gotta lube this part. We just gotta lube the moving parts area up, so down here, up here, and then slip our pads in and stick everything back together, and we will be done. I will show you guys the finished product before we move on and hit up the other side, and then I'll show you guys a step-by-step as how to do the rears. Alright, so now the pads are in. I'm just gonna go ahead and put our 2 bolts back in. That goes right. Oh, wait, wrong one. That goes right up here. A little fun fact: the first thing I actually learned how to do on the car was the brake pad. I mean, obviously after a typical oil change, that's usually what most people learn how to do first. But first thing I've actually done in terms mechanically wise, in terms of working on cars, was on my first Mazda RX-8, and it was literally just replacing the brake pads in it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it sure as fuck took a hell of a lot longer than it does take me now. Nowadays, I can knock out rotors and pads in like half an hour, versus back then where it took me like 1 hour per side just to do the brake pads to top it off. Like, I was actually terrified to take off both bolts, so I ended up just doing the 1 bolt and then sliding it down and just slipping the new pads in. But now, once you get over that fear of just like working on cars, things just get a hell of a lot easier. Here's our finished product in terms of the rotor and pad replacement. We're gonna go ahead and knock out the driver's side real quick, and then I will meet you guys in terms of the rear brake pads. So just look at the difference between like the new pad and the old pad. Like, we were definitely due for this one. So with the exception of releasing the e-brake, to be honest with you, the rear brakes are pretty much the same thing. So I'm going to be doing the same exact thing, but this time I'm actually going to set up a timer just to show you guys how quick and easy it is to actually replace a rotor and a brake pad. So I'll set up my iPad so you guys can see how long it takes. I'll pause it for a little bit just to do the cleaning, just because that one doesn't really count. But yeah.
We'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go.
I was actually trying to like time how long it would take me to remove the rear rotors and stuff like that. Initially I was going in a good pace, started taking everything off. I think I got like the old rotors off and stuff like that like in 5 minutes. But the problem was I kind of got stuck in the caliper and I had to reset it, and I didn't have the tool for it, so that actually took me another hour. But don't let it demotivate you. As long as you go and rent the right tool, you shouldn't have any issues in terms of actually like resetting it, and it shouldn't take you no more than like 15 minutes to do each rotor. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed watching. I will see you guys in the next video.